Hello, everybody. My name is Puppetine from I Love Puppets. Here today on I Love Puppets. Today, for what? Well, we just got finished with Stargirl a little while ago. We went ahead and streamed that. And now, we are streaming Stargirl. Man, I can't tell you. We have two female-led shows going at the same time. And you know which one is the best? This one. Oh, I guess he's a little shy. Well, in the darkness, he wants a formal introduction. So, our loyal amphibian, you all know, and some of you love, Froggy. I wish Froggy would appear.
Sorry, I just couldn't help it. You should have seen the look on your face. But then I feel bad for all the mirrors you break.
He does have a point. The reflection in my laptop has broken many times. But you know what? Are you excited to talk about Stargirl, Froggy?
I am. This is probably the best show I've seen.
Oh yeah.
I like it more than I like it more than Superman and Lois.
You know what? I can understand that because Superman and Lois is a drama series, whereas this is more than a drama series. It's just good. It is just good.
Fantastic, bro.
Yes, and you know what this episode is about?
It is about Johnny Thunder's pen. The Thunder
Bolt.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolt! Yes, voiced by Jim Gaffigan. Mike is trying to make a note, and Courtney left the pink pin in her pencil holder. And so he borrows the pin for a second, and then, dun dun, it awakens. It awokes. It is the Thunderbolt. And now it has a new friend in Mike. This leads to Mike making a few wishes and learning the rules. But then eventually Courtney, later on, as the rest of the JSA, they're all trying to decide what they're going to do about Shade, who's in town. She runs into Mike with stop signs falling from the sky because Mike wished for a bunch of bullies that were bullying him earlier would stop. Because they were stealing cookies from a little girl. That's just
the three bullies that beat him up earlier in the show. They're the ones that went after him, and it was kind of crazy.
Yep. And quickly, they are taken to the garage, and Pat realizes, "Wait a minute, you have this. Why would you have this pen? I told you this was one of the most dangerous things." And she was like, "You told me that about the staff too, and now I'm using it." And he's like, "Oh." She's got a point there. And Mike, now with bonding with this pin, the genie in the pin, if it's supposed to be ancient, I wonder what shape it took before it was a pin.
I don't know, but, I mean, pens were like JSA originally in the 40s and stuff, they had pens. Maybe before that, it was like a quill. Or who knows? It could have been a ring.
But this whole thing, it starts out with Pat as Stripesy working on a car, and Johnny Thunder comes in, and he's like, "Oh, the rest of the JSA told me to sit out because this stupid pin, even though in the right hands it would be so much better, I can't work it right." Until they call him in. There's Wildcat actually there to call him in, and then we hop to the present.
What year do you think that was? The 60s?
It's supposed to be 11 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it does. I understand 11 years ago, but I mean, I'm thinking it's around when they're in their 20s then. If they're in like his 40s now, that was 2010, or is he 40 now?
He was in his. I think he's supposed to be in his 30s in the 2010s.
Yeah, it's really weird the way they're doing this whole timetable because there's a black and white photo of them in the 1940s outfits.
No, really that's not black and white. It's colorized.
No, they showed it. I'll have to pull it up.
They showed it, yeah. The Flash was in a red suit. You could see it.
I'll have to go back and prove me wrong.
Well, you're going to have a hard time because I'm right. Anyway, moving right along.
Sir, you are not right. You're in the left.
He does have a point. But now I'm on the right? Ha-ha! This feels unnatural.
Yeah. You know what? I want to thank you guys for joining the Froggy Show. I love Froggy. And, drop $1 in that till. What are you doing, bro?
This is my show. You have your show. You have your Titans. This is mine. Anyway, going to go ahead and put this down here. Getting back to it, Mike has to learn the responsibility of making wishes. And so they eventually do. They use it to track down the Shade. So the JSA all suit up. They all go to meet him. And inside of the wizard's old house, he's just waiting there with tea.
Yeah, and this is classic Shade. For those who have read the comic books, Shade's a gentleman. He doesn't really kill unless he needs to. He always wants to be civil. He's been around since the 1800s, possibly even before that. I remember I think it was the 93 or early 90s Starman or TV series, but not series, but the books. You learn more about Shade. And yeah, Shade's, and as I called it, Shade is only here because he was going after Eclipso. And I got a feeling he's going to be their ally. Because he even said, I think, and even a big shocker, the new Dr. Midnight, she accuses him of killing the original Dr. Midnight. He says, no, dear child, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Because Stripesy saw him kill Dr. Midnight.
They show the flashback, him dragging him away.
Yeah.
We don't know if he's dead or not.
Yep.
He could have original Dr. Midnight could be a coward. He could have left.
But the problem arises because he's explaining, I can't tell you what I'm doing. It's just better if you don't know. And finally, it seems like they're reaching a point where the conversation's going to come to an end.
And
the parlay is broken.
Yes, because Mike, as an idiot, comes in and basically tries to attack Shade. Shade throws Thunderbolt back into Mike, fries Mike. Pat runs over him, tries to wake him up because he's unconscious. And then Shade's like, screw this, sits there. And he just sits there the whole entire time. All the little demon shadows come out and start grabbing people and throwing them out. Courtney gets the word. She's pinned to a wall. And the funny thing is you see the shadows trying to grab the rod, and then the rod would glow. And they're like, go away. Because as pointed out before they even confronted the Shade, Strepsy said that one time the Shade was incapacitated by the cosmic rod. Well, of course, his lights can cancel out darkness.
Yep, that is how the cookie crumbles.
Yes.
But, it leads to a moment afterwards where they're talking to Mike. Now that they're sure he's okay, now it's time to scold him. And you know what? He doesn't even need that bad of a scolding because he realizes how badly he messed up. And there's a moment where he takes the pen and he's like, oh, I wish this was in better hands. And it disappears.
And it goes to Jakeem, who actually is the original successor to the Johnny Thunderbolt. Or Johnny Thunder. And
the better version of, him. Yeah, you learn that because he does the paper route so much better than Mike.
Yeah. I also want to point out we skipped a big part. Icicle Jr.'s son overheard them talking about JSA in the classroom.
That's not Icicle's son. That's another person.
Wait, sorry, my bad. That is Pied Piper. And his mother is the one that has a violin. Remember from season 1, she's the principal. So he overhears this and guess what? I get a feeling he's going to be part of the Injustice.
Yep, he's a part of the recruitment for Sydney. And you know what? Mike's listed on there too. So we're going to have to wait and see what exactly this is going to lead to.
Well, Mike might be the host for Eclipso.
Ooh, because
that's what I'm thinking.
Wish. Yep, I see what you're going with. I like what you're thinking.
Well, no, because he's selfish.
He does.
Because you know what's
his fault.
Yeah. No, listen though. what you're gonna see is that you're gonna see. Remember, he's gonna see Jakeem with being the new JSA member, which his spot. He's gonna get angry about that. Eclipse was being like, you know what? This kid's a perfect host.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? It might just be that, and we're gonna have to wait and see. Anything else? Anything else? Oh, yes. So, we have the new Dr. Midnight. I can't remember her name. Can you? We need Zach here. He knows all the names.
I don't have a list in front of me.
Dr. Midnight is trying to fix the goggles, and it does seem to wake up for a second after she's like, "Oh, this is not working out," and she's really frustrated.
Yeah. And then the AI comes, works on together, and he says like, she has it on. He's like, "I don't know who you are, but you're in danger. Eclipso's here," and then it cuts off, and then it leads into that. It's because her and Rick are over there are basically just trying to fix the goggles.
Yep.
And then after this, it pans out, and we see Shade standing on top of the I would say the watchtower, the clock tower, and he's like, "Dear God, those kids are going to need help."
No, he says he's going to kill those kids.
Well, not him, Eclipso.
Yeah, that's what he says.
And I got a feeling though we're gonna see him helping the kids out. It's a mutual situation because even Pat knows that Pat found out that Eclipso's alive, back. Because back in the Williams, what's his name is?
The Wizard.
The Wizard's basically his belongings. They had the little box in which basically container which held onto Eclipso's diamond. It's some kind of protective thing, barrier, probably like a spiritual thing that block his powers, negate it so he can't escape or influence anybody. Mm-hmm. And Shade has it, so that was kind of cool too because like she's in there. She was in there. Pat's wife was in there.
Froggy, deep breath.
I can't. This is so amazing.
I know it's exciting. It's exciting. Deep breath. Go. That's right. Okay, now go.
In the storage unit, Pat's wife's in there. She's going through. It's dark in there. Shade shows up behind her, scares the bejesus out of her. She knows. She recognizes who he is because the Pat told her. She reaches in her phone to grab, reach in her purse to grab her phone, and Shade's like he holds it up. He's like, "Looking for your phone here?" He hands it back to her. She's like, "Oh, crap!" He's like, "What a shame, technology. It's not that cracked up what it's supposed to be." Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I love how he found the box, and she's like, "You can't." Yeah, he has to keep it. And she said no, and then she's like, "You're trespassing." And he's like, "Oh, shame. I thought we could work together." And then he just basically grabs the box and then disappears in the shadow. And she turns the light. He's gone.
Well, that's got to be her.
Yeah,
it's spooky. You think he's going to do something? He doesn't though, and he's gone. Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, Shade's probably the best freaking character on the show. Sorry, Courtney.
And you know what? That doesn't mean the other characters are bad. This means that he just shines.
I just say he's my favorite because we both love the dark.
Is Stargirl on par, tied with Superman and Lois, being the best CW superhero show? Well, Stargirl kind of cheated because Stargirl started on DC Universe. It started on the DC Universe app, so it kind of cheated. But you know what? I think it is about tied. I enjoy it in some ways a little more. I enjoy Superman and Lois in different ways a little more. But, both of these shows are good, and this episode is really great. I'm excited for next week because it looks like a couple of villains that we know are going to break out. No,
he's not. What I mean, like...
Is he the equivalent? The best character in the
Currently, this season, he's the best character I'm enjoying. I still like Courtney. I still like Pat Dugan. Even the wife's coming around, the mother. Mike's a little bit annoying, but then again, Mike, he really wants to be part of it because remember the first season, he felt left out because originally Courtney and his father hate each other, but now he sees them bonding in the first season, then he goes there, and he's like, "Well, I want to be part of the JSA," and his dad's like, "No," so he feels so left out and lonely and stuff, which is kind of similar to the comics. For those who haven't read the comic book, Mike was originally sent away to a military home. And he came back and he saw that Courtney was Stargirl. He was jealous because he felt it's my legacy to be the new Stargirl. So he grabbed his Courtney, and you'll notice in the show she has a red belt on. Well, in the comics, that's actually an anti-gravity belt, allows her to fly, because the rod was never sentient, even though she had the rod. Yeah, so those two were in the comic books were yanking on the belt, and they ripped it in half, ruining the belt. So Courtney got this cosmic rod thing is actually it's not really cosmic. It's like the shoe stuff. That is from Ted Knight, the original Starman. His son, who reluctantly became the legacy character, decided he didn't want to be it anymore, and he gave the staff over to Courtney. So that's a little tidbit for the comic books. I really recommend you do check them out. It's called Stars and Stripes by Jeff Johns.
You know what? While we're at it, while we're recommending, I recommend that people who just like good television, good superhero television, check out this show. Our recaps and reviews, we hope you stick around for them. But watching this show doesn't compare. We don't have the production budget they do.
Well, not yet. Give us your money.
That's right, and that leaves us to the Ko-Fi link down there. If you would like to donate to the channel, we would really appreciate it, but you don't have to. It helps us with our classic puppet theater, where we read comic books to you, and we hope you enjoy those too. Make sure to check them out. But until then, we want to remind you to like and to comment, let us know your thoughts, and subscribe, trying to build up against YouTube. They're trying to put us down. We need to get on up. Right, Frankie?
Yeah, and to quickly answer Mariah's question, I like Stargirl more than I like Superman and Lois. I'm sorry. It's the way it is. It just feels so natural.
I know. I absolutely understand it. And you know what? I really love it too. But until next time, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back next week, of course, with more Supergirl and Stargirl. But
yay!
One last thank you from Froggy and myself before we say
thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.